There, and welcome to the Home Studio Rescue here on YouTube. My name is Chris, and today I'm going to be going over a mix I did for this band called the Barons from Charlottesville, Virginia. We recorded drums at this cabin in Stanton, Virginia, and I'm going to be giving away these tracks for free. There's going to be a link down in the description, but you will need a password that I will be saying at some point in this video, and then you can go enter the password. You can download these tracks and try to beat my mix. So let's check out what I got going here. Here's the chorus. Okay, and so there's, I would say, 4 things I did in this mix that are kind of noteworthy or whatever as far as things that I do normally. A lot of times, there's always going to be parallel compression on the drums, and then and that's going to come in a couple different ways. One is just going to be I'll send the kick, the snare, and the toms. I'll send those out, and the overheads kind of lower than they are in the mix. Send that out to a bus pre-fader in parallel, and make a drum crush bus, and blend that in with my drum mix bus here, or my drum bus. Mix that in with my drum bus. So this is what the drums sound like. And so I have the this thing called D-Crush here. That is my parallel drum bus. I'm also using bus force on the actual drum bus. There's without it. With it. It's adding some saturation, maybe a little bit of compression, and I got a high pass filter that's got a little bump there, and then I'm taking out somewhere around 500 hertz on the drums. And then I also have a thing called the fat fader, so we're going to check out the parallel compression here. This is the fat fader. And what this is the kick and snare. I have a kick bus. I have 4 kick drum mics, or I have 3 mics on the kick drum and 1 kick trigger, and I sent all those to a kick bus, and then I'm sending that to the fat fader. And then the snare drum had 2 mics on the top and 1 on the bottom, and then we have a trigger for that as well. And so that's what this is going to sound like. So that's just the fat fader right here. And then here's the drum bus with the fat fader, and then there is my crush bus for the drums, which is kick, snare, toms, and overhead. It's got its own mix, which it's a little bit different from the overhead mix. And so on the parallel bus, I have a fatso. It's getting a couple dBs of compression, 2 or 3 dB of compression, and then I have a Zener limiter. Both are from Universal Audio, and that's what I'm doing for the drums. So I'm just going to go over the drums and the bass, and what I'll say too is that I did a lot of side chaining in this song. What I mean by that is I would send the vocal. There's a synth part where I'm side chaining the vocal. Here you can see this is a compressor. That little key is for side chaining. So I'm sending the vocal to this compressor, and I have to hit this button right here. And whenever the vocal's going on, it compresses. It's going to knock down this synthesizer about 3 to 6 dB at any given time. You can see it's working right there. I also did that with the solos for the rhythm guitars. So side chaining, parallel compression, and then I went bananas with the Fab Filter Pro Q. I had just gotten this EQ, and on the bass, I did a lot. This is actually matching the kick drum. What I did is you can analyze the kick drum or any track, and then I just reversed the frequencies that the kick drum was taking up. I reversed it for the bass. This is what that sounds like. So if we listen to the drums and the bass. And this is that EQ. And I feel like it just kind of fits it. It's also dynamic. So it just kind of fits things in. It's giving it a little bit of movement with the kick drum. And then I had a couple other Pro Qs where I'm just kind of doing some bass bumps and a high pass filter, and then just cutting out a little bit of the mud. And then this is the bass guitar track, and this is without anything on it. And the band, they're actually pretty good audio engineers as well, and they suggested to put the Jocko Fat Chorus from the effects rack from Sound Toys on it. So it's got some chorus going. And then I put some more Pro Q on that channel, and then I have a Neve 1073 on it. A Neve 1073, I'm just adding some preamp gain to get some saturation, and then I'm kind of trying to gain stage it here with the fader and the output. I added some high end on the EQ, and I'm actually cutting 80 hertz and then bumping 110. So they already had a bass guitar distortion track, which was pretty cool as well. And I had duplicated the bass and put it through the Sans amp here. In Pro Tools, I have a setting I like. So this is the bass and drums together. So I'm a big fan of the Fat Fader and also doing parallel compression on drums. If you've never mixed a full drum kit before, this is great practice for you. The link is down below in the description. The password is MixBus. So you just click on that link, enter in the password, send me your mix. I'm going to pick the best mix, and that person's going to get a $50 Amazon gift card. Shoot me an email with your mix, download the tracks, have fun, and I'll catch you on the next one.